Revelation 2562. From the 26th of November 1942. Love of matter regresses, spiritual. Every material thought helps to increase matter and is therefore a hindrance to the progress of the soul. For as soon as the human being desires matter, the soul is taken back into a state which it has long since overcome. It therefore enters into a bond with this material again, it joins the still immature spiritual in matter again, and this always means a step backwards for the soul. Therefore the human being must be able to detach his thoughts at any time, he must seek contact with the spiritual, which is on a higher level, and he may not detach the once established contact by desiring that which is part of the adversary of God. He will always besiege the human being's thoughts, he will introduce himself to him in the pleasures of the world, in earthly pleasures or earthly possessions, and he will want to tempt the human being to only pay homage to such pleasures in order to distance him from God. And the human being is free to decide for or against God. And if he now leans more towards the world, he increases matter through his consent. It is the thought of spiritual power which is now used in the wrong way when man is mentally concerned with what he is to overcome. He should certainly fulfill his earthly task in the midst of matter, but only ever in such a way that he helps to redeem matter, that he guides it to its actual purpose, that he causes it to be of service, that he therefore uses all matter for the benefit of his fellow human being and thereby likewise works in a serving way. But as soon as he desires matter for himself in order to create a pleasant life for himself, his love is for the still immature spiritual, which he tries to chain to himself but does not want to redeem. This is a false love, it is a greed for possessions which is never beneficial for the soul, for the human being strives downwards instead of upwards, he seeks unification with that which he has long since overcome and thus shapes himself retrogressively. But if he helps the spiritual in matter by making a serving activity possible for it, he shortens its course of development by a considerable amount, he helps the spiritual to overcome its outer form. Thus matter is not increased but reduced, while the spiritual becomes free in it in order to start the fight against matter again in a new material cover. If the human being's love applies to matter, thus to the external shell, then it has to be fought. But if it applies to the spiritual substance within the shell, then love will have a redeeming effect, it will help the spiritual substance to become free, whereas love for matter keeps the spiritual substance bound in the form for far longer because it does not want to divest itself of it, and such love means long periods of imprisonment for the spiritual substance, which cannot escape from matter because it is made impossible for it to overcome matter. Amen.